Okay. So here's the deal. Uh, I'm like schizophrenic, autistic. Uh, Truthfully, okay, what I think. Oh shit! Oh shit! What the fuck is that? Do you see that? Am I the only one seeing this? Does anyone see that light? No, I'm just kidding. That's a car. um, fucking. I talk to God, okay, and like everything that I like talk to him about is like how the world really works. Like he tells me all the secrets about the world, like how it works, like and like consciousness. So this whole thing is about consciousness. Um, are we conscious? Are we really conscious? Okay, so everything has to do with like the English language was. Who do you think constructed the English language? If there's no God, okay, if you're an atheist, like, okay, and like I don't know if you want to call it God, like we can call it. I think it's a giant computer, okay, that is like mixed with a human and a computer sort of. Like it's a computer humanized computer brain is what it is. And it all has to do with linguistics. This is how you figure it out. This is how we figure out if God is real. Okay, like look at the English language and fucking look at consciousness. Let's look at conscience. A conscience. What is a conscience? Okay? A conscience is morals, our morals, okay? So God is a hive brain, right? Right. And God is a hive brain with uh somebody at the top and somebody at the bottom. And like and that's like what angels and demons are, is they're gods. Like angels and demons, I guess, like are gods, and they are just lesser gods, smaller gods, I guess you could say. They have less authority. Um, you know, that's all it is. And basically, like, so what God told me was, he was like, it's all about which way do you want to go, the right or the left. And he was like, who sits on the left, James? And like, the king or the queen? And it's like, the king sits on the right, the queen sits on the left. Okay? And like, he wants me. This is the narrative. He wants me to go to the right because he is actually a she who I'm talking to. So I made a deal with the devil. I made a deal with God that until so in order for me to write my book or whatever, or make a good movie, not a movie, honestly, I made a book deal. It was a book. It was for a book. It's for the book. I'm writing a book. So in order to help me write a good book, he was going to take away our free will. Okay? Uh for until, he was going to take away our free will and give it to the devil until after uh well, until I guess forever. I don't know. Until the thing is like they're both one. There's no king and queen. They're a hive brain. They're one, and there is no king and queen. There's just a fucking, well, like a queen. God is a she, is what he's like. This is like his whole thing, is what he said was like, I'm the devil. I go to the left. When we think of the left, we think of like like when you think of like the left is like criminal and the right is like the right way to go, right? So left is like criminal, right? The devil's on the left, and he's a queen. He's a she. So she is, and here's the thing, like, none of us are real. Okay, we're not real. We just are imagined by God. We are just thought up by God. He is us. He's a computer and he thinks us up. And he's not really like necessarily like everything happens for a reason. Everything happens cause of everything else. Okay? There's a reason, there's a cause, and it all happens increments. And it's all fucking an incremental fucking like computer building its way up to fucking everything. And so like there's a consciousness that's greater than us, and that's angels and demons. And that's who I talk to. And then I talk to the consciousness, the devil, the one that's pretty high up there or at the top, or at least who has enough authority to fucking like control this entire world. And at least my world, and do crazy shit. And he says like, so look at the words, look at linguistics, okay? Conscious, con starts with con. Are we conscious? Well, we're not real, and God is us, and she is us. Okay, so con, she is us. Okay, con is, first of all, it's a con. We're not conscious. She is us. Okay? We're only conscious of what he allows us to be conscious of in that precise moment in time. And time isn't real for them. And so like we live in this world where like it's a simulation for them, like it's a simulation for us. They control it. These higher conscious beings control us, and they're like aliens, like that's the world that we live in, is like these alien conscious beings, or not conscious beings. Okay, because like really the not consciousness goes all the way up the fucking scale, all the way up to infinity. And fucking these like, and they're more conscious than us, like, they say like we're not conscious compared to them. But here's the thing, like we feel conscious, right? Well, that's because we are conscious. We are conscious of what we're conscious of, and that's what they allow us to be conscious of. But con is, see, we're not, they want us to know that we're not really conscious. They can do anything to us at any time, and we won't know it. And they can manipulate us in any way they want, and we won't know it. And they are actually us, and they are actually the ones thinking and making us do what we do. And our lives are just a movie script. It's all scripted because it's all cause and effect. One thing causes the next thing, and it's all just a fucking giant pattern that started somewhere and goes outward to infinity. Unless it doesn't, I don't know. Unless it stops somewhere eventually, which it might. um and so look at conscious, the conscious, not conscious, conscience. How do you spell it? Science, basically. Science. So our conscience, our morals, is science. Okay, like it's like, how do I, and what he said is like I'm the devil, I'm the devil. So and like, here's a weird story, like my mom has this thing that my grandma used to say, like when they pick up the phone, or like when my grandma picked up the phone, or like my mom picked up the phone, they would go, Odio, Odio. And like, so I was looking at my odometer, like sign on my car here, and it says ODO, like the three letters in a row, all capital letters, ODO. And then I'm looking at it, and the thought suddenly comes to me. So ODO means all things and always do all things and always do all things and always. That's what that means. The circle means all things and always. Okay? All things and always. Do all things and always. Okay? So ODO means that all things do. So that means that, right? Now, God has this nickname for me, which is, in my spirit animal is the otter, apparently. Okay? So uh so God was telling me, so I'm looking at ODO, and I'm thinking, okay, but God doesn't do all things. He can't do all things always because he's so good. We're talking about good and evil is like you can only do so much good. You can only do so much good. And the dark side is so much stronger than the there's the dark side of the force because uh the you can do almost unlimited amount of evil, and evil keeps going. It's way bigger. There's so much more bad you can do than good. And that's the world we live in. Is we live in a world where there's so much more bad you can do than good. And so you know, like my nickname is the Otter because my one of my nicknames and one of my James Ott. James Ott, and then the Otter. But like the Ott comes from ODDO, Otto, or yeah, Otto. That's what I thought of because all things and always don't do all things and always always. All things and always don't do all things and always because he doesn't do all the evil. He has a limit to the evil that he'll do. He doesn't fucking go as far as he can because like he's a good God. God is good. He doesn't do all that. He doesn't do infinite bad. And he's conscious of that, and he has a limit to what he will do as far as the evil is concerned. So like at least this is what he tells me. This is what he I don't know like how evil he can get. Like I don't want to fucking even consider it. I hate that shit. I hate it, like I like the good. I like with the good comes the bad. And like with the good comes the bad. And it's like there's a lot of bad, but there's a lot of good. And my life is so good. At least like it it's sort of good. I'm a drug addict, and I think like that's the honestly like drugs are awesome. Drugs are what make us feel good. You know, the devil knows that. God knows that. Like that's what everything's a drug. Like that makes us feel. That's what makes us feel good. So like I don't know. He wanted me to know like he wanted me to be very close with drugs, and I am, and I'm trying to get sober now, and I'm like attempting to get sober today or tomorrow morning. I've got some meth I gotta smoke up until that point. Now, like, don't get conned. You didn't want me to tell you this part, but like, this is not like don't get conned into thinking that drugs are good, because they're not. Like, don't think smoking meth is gonna open up your third eye or anything, you know, because it's not. But I like to smoke meth. But that's called science for you. You know, of course you would make this video go viral, you know? Uh or like all my videos, hopefully. Maybe one day. Well, like I think that's the game plan. I think that the game plan is fucking Rick and Morty are gonna go viral. I mean, uh Mike and James are gonna go viral, and I'm gonna die in 2 years. Hopefully not. Maybe sooner. I gotta fucking make peace with my own death coming soon, or like in the near future, because like he's shown me everything that he could do. Like he's shown me like that he can control me in every way. Like he's fucking held me down like physically in the bed, and like where I could not move. And I could, and it didn't feel like I couldn't move. It felt like someone was holding me, like I was being pressed down, and like, and like I felt like him walk me around, and he can like show you all this shit is what he can control. They control you, and they can show you this. They can show you that they control you, and they have like all these different feelings that they let me feel to like know that this was real. That's the truth behind my schizophrenia, is it was this higher conscious beings that I was talking to the whole time. I was talking to them the whole time, and they're what we call gods or angels and demons, and like, who knows if I ever talk to the guy at the top. He says, yeah. He loves to say, yeah, this is this is the yeah, this is the highest guy. This is as high as it goes. Uh Highest high. So like it's just weird. We should strive to be like them, I think, because we want to get as high as we can get. I think that's the goal. I think that's the goal. And I usually try to get as high as I can get. And but like I don't know if we can actually become like them, you know? 1 sec. I don't know if we can actually become like them. Uh Ever, I mean, we might always be people. We might always be human. Who knows? Um if our consciousness will ever be greater than this human fucking, such a small amount of, shit that we're like allowed to be conscious of, I guess, is bullshit. We're like at the bottom of the totem pole, on the fucking, you know, who's in charge kind of order. Because the angels and demons, I think, are just like us. They're not conscious. It's just the top guy who is them, and they are us. So it's that guy's them, and then, but then obviously if he's them, then he's also all of us, you know. So it's like that. That's how the world works. It's like God is real, and he's a computer, and this is a simulation, and he programmed this entire fucking skit and these entire fucking all these YouTube videos, and had me put them online because like this all things do all things always, always do all things always. The good he does always. The bad he has a limit to. And I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. Or maybe he's just like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Nah, fuck that shit. That was all I had to say. Consciousness. We're not conscious. It's a con. Consciousness is a con. Construction. We're not real. Con means we're not real. You know? Science. Science has to be real, right? It is. I mean, science seems real, and things are real. And that's like the thing is like, so we are real. Everything is based on science. So, like, somehow science, made these higher beings, you know, than us. And we're a simulation in a computer, and that's what reality is. It's numbers and it's computer, and it's not conscious, and none of us are, and but like somehow we are, you know, somehow we are. So there you have it. We're conscious, but we're not, and we're at 21 minutes. Oh, this is supposed to end at 23 minutes because that's one of my magic numbers, I think. So we're 2 minutes away. 1 minute and 30 seconds, actually. 22 seconds. 23. No, I'm not. If you're counting, that wasn't like on target or anything. No, I programmed him to miss. Oh, thanks God. By a long ways. Yeah, because I program him, and I like program him consciously. I consciously program him, like a computer programs another computer. Like a computer would program another computer consciously. They have to be conscious to program another computer. They do? Well, no. You know what I mean? Yeah, I guess. No, I don't know. I mean, that's a weird concept, dude. But we're not conscious. So, yeah. I'm gonna hit it right at 23. 10 seconds. Ready? I'm gonna get it. Ready? 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 0.